Okay. Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding today in Daf Kuf Yud. And we're starting in Amud Aleph in the second line. Kuf Yud. Now we started the sugya. This sugya is talking about, here's what David. I was getting worried about it. Says the Gemara, we're in the middle of the sugya of Chal. Chal is the udder that has milk in it. And we discussed if you have milk in it, can you cook it or not? We learned that as long as it's absorbed inside it, it's not a problem. Then the milk is still okay. You don't have an issue. That's why we saw the idea of the tzli. And the example, that we said, Akash Baruch Hu gave us, if a person can eat meat and milk, what's going to be the way of eating meat and milk? You roast the chal. Says the Gemara, Kisalik Rabbi Lazar Ashkel Zeri. When Rabbi Lazar goes to Eretz Yisrael, he meets Zeri. Who's the one who taught to Rav Chal, and he told us that it's asur b'achila if you don't cut it up, as we saw in the end of this day's daf, kriya, you have to do kriya. Who's the one who told to Rav? Exactly. Says, that's the guy, Yitzchak Bar Dumi. No, I didn't tell Chal. No, I didn't. Rav, really Chal is no problem, and Rav knew it was not a problem, but Rav was doing Xero. What was Xero? The Rav Iklo Letatalfush. He came to the place called Tatalfush. Right away you heard this name, you assume it's a place that has problems, right? Tatalfush.
That's what?
There's issues over there. He called the place Tatalfush. Okay, I'm just kidding. Shama La'i, so you hear this woman, she tells her friend, if I have a quarter of meat, how much milk do I need for the cooking? She was asking her the recipe. Meat, you put quarter of a pound, how much milk? So he says, the basar b'chol asur. They don't know it's asur. He says, this place, Tatalvash, everything is asur. You have to come and be and exaggerate the use of basar b'chol, so they won't go to it. So not only is oisa basar b'chol, it was oisa even chal. It's like zeh bound. So they asked the basar b'chol over there. Very much. They're great examples. Rav Kahana matni achi. Kahana said the following. So sorry. Rav Kahana matni, what we just said till now. Rav matni, that what Rabbi Yitzchak said is ano chal sheminiki shenisiloi. Chal depends which chal. A regular chal of an udder of a regular animal, of a regular cow, is not also. But a miniko, a nursing cow, which is so much milk, that is also. So it depends what's the level of milk you have in the udder. So I just told him miniko. When you pilpulu Rabchia shana like kachastam. Rabchia taught it to him. So Rabchia was very bepulpul. So he didn't explain himself well enough because he felt that Talmidim will know a bit like I know, and he took from him the idea that chal is asur lechatchila, right? So is asur miikardin. So he made the two gears. So the Gemara is chal gzer be'alma or chal is not gzer be'alma. So that's it.
So by nursing milk, the chal gets filled with milk.
Yeah, the chal is much more milk over there. It's not like absorbed in it as a regular cow.
Even if it didn't come out of its, I thought the milk has to actually come out of the udder.
So I was thinking about it, maybe, it doesn't say that, maybe a miniko, but the finisher goes out. It's just, you know.
I thought that was the Gemara on Kiptas and Vez. It said there was a difference where it was kanas me'ev or not. Like the kachal is always,
it's always inside in a certain way. We'll see more about it on base by us. But confused.
But right, so I'm saying, but the point was the kachal was considered never didn't have a status of milk until it comes out. Right.
So you're saying over here that by a nursing woman maybe it's more than that.
It's always dripping.
It's always like
exactly, yeah.
Maybe that's right.
I didn't see someone saying it. Maybe that could be. Rabbi Ravitzu by Yosef, he klo lebei rapapi. They came to the house or
That
above.
makes sense. I mean, it's saturated.
Yeah.
So
It's so full that it drips.
Rabbi Ravitzu by Yosef, he klo lebei rapapi. Aisul kamayu tafshilo the chal. Give him a cooked chal. Ravitzu by Yosef ochal. He ate. Rabbi lo yochal. Rabbi did not want to eat. Rabbi tachlo. Tachlo means he lost his children. So maybe he's sad. Why are you not eating it? The wife of our puppy, who's the woman, she cooked, and she prepared the food. She was the daughter of Yitzchak Nafcho. Yitzchak Nafcho moridu de'avo. He was very medactic b'mitzvahs. He loved the shmir l'beino shalei avda. Even now that she heard it from her father, she would not do it. So you have who to rely on. It's interesting that if our papi wasn't chashuv enough for them to rely on him, he didn't say she's the wife of our papi. It says the daughter of Yitzchak Nafcho, meaning a higher level to come and rely on it. It says more besura lo yak lekachle. In surah they not ikacham. People from this zoach lekachle. This they did. Ryan bar Tamid who Ryan bar the Chulin before Mediso. He came from Mediso. Iklo the surah. Comes to surah with what? They don't ikcham. B'mali yoyim et kippur. Erev Yom Kippur. Afkinu kula alma kelekachlinu shadinu. You know that everybody's eating. What do they do with the chal? They threw it away. Azaliu nektinu achlinu. He went and ate it. He had a free lunch. He took all the chal everybody else threw away and he ate it. I saw the kamei of Jesus. They brought what's his name? Ryan bar the Kulei, who's Ryan bar Tam, same name. They brought him around in front of Chizdo. Only my Davidachi. Why are you doing this way? Why are you eating kachla that nobody else eats? I'm going with you. I come from Yuda's city where they ate tachli. He came from Mediso. What do you mean? But you have to go to Chumrah. If you're going from place to place, you have to be machrin yourself. He said, I'll tell you what happened. I took this chal, I left the city, went out of the tchum, and that's why I ate it. He said, oh, really? How did you go and you roast him? So when you're in the city, you had wood, very easy to find wood. But you're out of the tchum, what did you roast with? I use the dry, or say the moment, sediments of wine. That's what I used to cook. What? It's called chartzonim. It's not sediment, it's, pits. What do you mean? How can you use it? How can you use it? I don't know which wine it comes from. It comes from yain nesach. It was already more than 12 months old. And after 12 months, it goes away the wine from these pits, as we learn in Masechet of Dezar.
I didn't know it was 12 months old. It
just
came to the city.
I was going to say.
So the Gemara says, interesting, the Gemara doesn't ask it this way. The Gemara asks a different way. If you deal with the Gezel, what do you do? Maybe it was stolen. It is clearly that the Bailim were Misiash, which means it was already getting spoiled. So that maybe answers the question of Ramoshe. How do you know? It was getting spoiled, it was old. So you knew that it was not from now. So says the Gemara, and otherwise you knew that the Bailim gave up on it because it was already old and rotten. Okay, so that, you see Mamish, it's like a Mashgiach in Yeshiva. He didn't, I was like, how you eating Chal? It's not from here. No, but what about B'nai Gamakar? I was out of the city. You're out of the city? How do you cook it? Oh, I use these sediments or these pits. Oh, what is this? Avidazara? 12 months. Gezel? And whatever he did, he basically was trying to get it, right? Chazid the law of a manach tefillin. He says, now wearing tefillin. Only my time, lo manach tefillin. Again, in his mashgiach's office, the guy's questioning him. I have a stomach virus, stomach ache. You don't put it in tefillin because you can't keep the gufnoki and you stick it off the whole time. Said, he says, now wearing tzitzis. Only my time, who is it tzitzis? Only it's a bar of talis. And I've kuf Yudah on base. Talis shula kol shloish yoyim p'tur min atzitzis. Tal Shula, for 30 days you have to put in tzitzis. The Taisus brings over here that the Tal Shula Miduraisa is always potter.
Yeah, borrowed towel.
Borrowed clothing. Borrowed talis. Borrowed clothing has full copies.
Towels cut on, let's say.
Yeah, no, the talis over here we're referring to is a clothing.
Because of that, and the minhag is when you say slichas too early in the morning, when you say slichas before it's man talis, you're not supposed to use a shul talis. You're actually supposed to borrow talis. Shul talis might have to make a bracha.
Might. We don't pass this way, right?
The bracha on it, but a borrowed talis
you don't do.
You don't make a bracha.
That's what Toys brings over here.
No, you're not even supposed to use it as a shul talis. You're supposed to borrow.
Shul talis is a discussion to do a bracha. We pass it. We don't do a bracha.
If you go away for you take a shul talis, you make a bracha on it.
No, so we pass in the halacha that we don't do shuls. You don't make it. If you become a chazan about tefillah, you don't say that bracha. But there is such a shita.
If you borrow the talis to use for whole davening, you wouldn't make a bracha on the talis.
The one you're using for if you're not about tefillah, I don't know. But the about tefillah doesn't.
The shul talis usually.
You don't. But at Teresis brings away the discussion. You don't say a bracha on tal shul, even though you could be mechayev yourself like Noshi or mechayev themselves a bracha. That's what Teresis brings into the discussion. That's what he speaks about.
You don't have to, but is it also to? It's a bracha levatala.
That's what he's discussing. So he says no, the Noshim do brachas even though they don't have to. That's what he brings. That's one of the discussion.
It's not Marsai.
What? Well, so he says, but here everybody's butter, so here's still different. Okay, and he ends it with this one says Mavarch Eino Mafsid. Anyway, it says Tal Shula, and that's why I need to put it Das, but it's in the middle, they bring there somebody who didn't do kibbut aveim. And what do? Kaftu, they tie him up to give him malchus. You have to respect your parents. Well, Omalus, he said, Shavku, don't do it, don't hit him. The Tanya, Kol mitzvahs aseh shematan schoro betzido and beis din shlamata muzar melech. We don't go punish him if it says matan tzchar. How do we know? Because it says in Mani Tav L'chol V'Rach. So Rashi explains, the Savar the Rashi says is that when you have a matan tzchar, so as if the Torah is telling you, this is what you get or what you lose if you don't do it. If you do the mitzvah, you'll get rewarded, and if not, you lose the reward. And there's no other. Look at Rashi. Shemato tzchar betzido l'man yechur yamecho lekach pirish matan tzchar. That's what the Torah wrote about the tzchar. Lo yimashim lo yitekemenu. If you won't keep it, so why don't you show it to tzchar zeh? That's what it is. So you don't go and punish someone on a pasuk that says matan tzchar. That's what he stopped there. Says the Gemara Malei Chazina Lo Techayufas Tuvo. He says, I see you're so sharp. You're such a sharp person. Amalei Yavois Ba'atra Davida. You with word in the location of Yudah. Chachavin Lach. I'll show you how sharp I am. So the Pashas, what is he saying? So you think I'm sharp? I'm even sharper when I'm at home. So the Chazasayv asks, so what is it? Balgaivu. You think I didn't show you anything? So the Choseva says like a Valdik Cheshbon. He says like this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he says it in the name of Rav Nosson Adler, his Rebbe. The Pshah is like this. Yisai Big Yisai says that it's davar, that's how it is. When a person is under his Rebbe, he's not so sharp. He's not able to be his full wisdom. Why? Because he's like subject to his Rebbe. So he's a little bit like, he's a little bit...
Pressure.
So pressured, he's a little undermining his Rebbe. He's not on his own. So what he's telling him, he says, I see you're you're very sharp. That means you left your Rebbe. So if you left your Rebbe, you should not do and you come to here, you should do the minhagim over here. Why are you not considered to be you're going to go back? Because you plan to go back to your Rebbe. But you left your Rebbe, you're very smart. So that's not true. If you come to the place where I am with Rebbe Yudo, you'd see I'm much smarter. Have much more to achieve. So that's why I didn't let him leave my Rebbe. I have still what to learn from him. That's what the Chassidus says. Says the Gemara, Omelei Abayi La'asafra. Kisalkat La'osom, when you go to Eretz Yisrael, Bayi Minari asking the following. Kavdo Ma Atun Bei. What do you hold regarding liver? Regarding the liver. Can you cook it or not? Look at Lashon Rashi. Kavdo matan boy, mutar levasha b'gdero asur b'nei shepoy ledam. Because there's blood that comes out of the liver. Ve'avdo b'shekuloy dam. Afilu achi achas shepirish v'yotzar dam v'has. So what does it mean? What is this side? And that's what Rishonim explaining more. The liver is kuloi dam. It's really, we consider the liver to be really blood. If the shaila is the liver itself you can eat. We'll see. How do you know the liver you can eat? That's a shaila. How do you know you can eat the liver? The Gemara assumes you can eat the liver. Where do we know that from? So the Acharonim discuss it. One of the answers they say is it says by the Kohanim they have to put on the mizbeach the chaylev and the whatever goes on the mizbeach. Then the rest they can eat. Masha, the entire behemoth they can eat, including the liver. That's one raya.
Wasn't that one of Yalta's things? The saying Torah asked the blood and gave you the liver.
How do you know? What's the source? Where do we know that from? So that's one raya learning from the Kohanim. The Aruch HaShulchan has another cheshbon. How do we know that the liver is mutter? Okay. So now the liver is considered to be blood, but you can eat the liver. What about the blood that comes out of the liver? Is that part of the liver as mutter? Same way you can eat the liver, you can eat the blood coming out of it, or no? The blood that comes out of it, similar to what Moshe was saying before regarding the milk. Once it comes out, it becomes also. That's what she asked.
Blood coming out of the liver, or is the liver turning into blood?
The liver is blood.
I'm saying. So when you say
blood coming out of the liver, because if you cook it, so then the blood comes out of it and mixes with something else.
But it's the liver. It's just the liver dissolving. It's not blood.
Right. But still, is there a problem? So he says, Matubri. Now the big discussion, one of the big discussions in this sugi on the Rishonim, back and forth, and the Taisis and everybody, as we talk about here, is are we talking they did milicha or not? Because we're going to learn later that when you salt something, it takes out the blood. So do you do the salting, and then and it's still you say it's blood, or it's when you didn't salt it, if you salted, you're okay. That's a big discussion over here. So he says kisolik when he goes to Eretz Yisrael. So when Safa goes to Eretz Yisrael, Ashkechei le'abzreiko. See the bzreiko. I cooked it to Ravami. You see, I can cook it. Also, when he came back, meaning to answer itself, I know it's not answer. I know I have no problem that you can the liver itself you can eat. The Gemara thought that if the blood coming out of the liver is a problem, so if I cook it, the blood will come out and come back in. The blood that's coming out of the liver will come back into the liver, so I can't eat the liver. So no, the liver I'm not worried about. Why? Because the blood goes out, it doesn't go back in. Look at Lashon Rashi. Let me violate. Because the liver is spitting out blood, it doesn't swallow. So the liver takes out blood, doesn't take in blood. So I know that the liver itself is not an issue. But the shaila is, does the blood coming out of the liver cause the meat next to it to be also? So he tells us Safra, this is interesting. You go to Eretz Yisrael, please ask them, what do you say about the liver? He goes to Eretz Yisrael, comes back, and he tells him, that's not my question. Not about the liver itself, I want to know about the other things. Says the Gemara explains, he says, why for itself not? Because there's a special the Mishnah tells us that it's not also. It says it's oyster others, but in itself doesn't become usher. So the blood of the liver goes out. It makes the liver itself doesn't become usher, but whatever it touches makes it usher. Says the Gemara, Dilmo also bekavdo the isur. Maybe they would talk about a liver which is usher. What does it mean? Like treifo. So it's usher. And what's the issue? Says the Gemara, Mishum Shamnunisu. And what's oyster the others, it's not because of the blood. It's because the fat that comes out goes into the other meats. I don't know about the blood. Now, what does it mean? Ain't neseres. So Rashi says, it says im shalateri ubishlein treifer neseres if you should chew the leaflet. Meaning, liver, which is also the liver, it's treifel. So when whatever comes out of it and goes to another meat makes it also. Why? Because the taste of the liver goes to something else and makes it also. But the liver, if the liver itself is kosher and is cooked with something also, it won't become also because it doesn't swallow. It just spits out, it doesn't swallow. But maybe it's not because of the blood, it's because of the taste, because of the fat that goes around. So what about blood? So he said, so if Safa tells him, so he tells him, why are you questioning about itself? The same place you know that if for itself it's okay, for the others it would be a problem. He says, no, that's regarding if it's also, if it's a mutter, maybe not. Maybe because of the taste, not because of the blood. Says the more Kihodar, Solik, they went again to Eretz Yisrael. Apparently those days was easier to go to Eretz Yisrael than today. So, he went back to Eretz Yisrael. Ashkel Zeh finds a Zreika again. Don't ask that question, it's partial. The Hana V'Yana Breda Avami, me and Yana ben Avami, equal of you the Breda of Shimon Pazi. We were by the house of Shimon Pazi. V'Krivolon Kanyo B'Kufei V'Achal. Kanyo means the entire section of the animal that has the lung and the liver together. They did the whole thing in one big piece and he ate. So you see the liver doesn't make anything else a problem. Maybe the pee of the kohen, meaning the pipe, was sticking out. So all the blood that was inside goes out. That's why it was okay. But if it's cooked together and the pipe is not sticking out, meaning the blood is inside, maybe it's also. It's no riot from here if the blood is not also. Says the one, maybe they went and they what would be the right word to say michlat? They heated it up. He first of all cooked it on its own, seared it on its own, and he allowed it to cook and eat up the blood. And he melee, now that you cook something else, there's no problem. Because the blood is not going out anymore. They used to do that with vinegar. From they did it in hot water. So maybe that's the case. The one just brings, by the way, just one more sentence over here. So maybe if you cook it with vinegar, it's not going to be good enough. I mean, the vinegar will come aser. In other words, if it goes out to the vinegar, so eventually once it stops going out to the vinegar, it'll go back to the vinegar into the kovet. So I'm telling you, the fact that it's the chlita makes the blood be absorbed into the kovet. It doesn't make anything else usher, and he itself doesn't become usher anymore, and that's the solution. So what is the more coming with the conclusion? The more basically says, we didn't have an answer. We asked a question. A kovet, if you cook it and the blood comes out of it, does it oyster other things? Kovet itself is mutter. What about the blood of the kovet? So the Gemara has no raya, because all the rayas that we said, maybe the blood is going out, maybe it was cholut, meaning they put it into the fire, or they put it into vinegar and they allow the blood to go into it. But if it's straight kovet, I don't have an answer. So therefore, comes out from here that the place we discussed, the female is going to be usher, because we didn't bring any raya that there will be mutter. So we'll stop over here. Is Hashem. Continue from here tomorrow night.
How does it affect chocolate?